Hi and welcome everyone. I wanted to do a video today on the information I have been receiving over the last days, and especially today I feel the way I feel it and the energies have been shifting. It feels very different today than it felt yesterday and the rest of the week. So I want to share some of the messages I have received on where we're finding ourselves, and some tips of an awareness of that is good to have as we're moving forward. And I want to start this by saying that one of the very most important things is to stay in an empowered state. So we will be asked more and more to surrender, to stay in an open state, staying in a state of allowance, and from that space take steps and move forward, because it's a bit of a paradox that we in a period of stillness and actually stopping, listening within, working on a trigger, and we feel like, oh, the forward movement is sort of stopping, why am I finding myself here again? And we go into that resistance and we start fighting what is, because we're just wanting to move forward. But if we're actually taking that period in stillness, whether that is 5 minutes or if it's a few hours or a day or it's a week, and you find yourself in sort of like a pause, or in that stillness, you're actually moving forward more quickly than if you're staying in that state of resistance. And also having the awareness of that you can stay in a state of surrender in your power. So an empowered surrender, it's very different than a giving up or giving in, or just lying down and just waiting for whenever this will pass or whenever things will just sort itself out. Because we are very much realizing and learning now that we are co-creators. So we have to work with the energies. We have to work with our bodies. We have to work with the collective. Like we are a part of an huge interconnected web. And we have to take action as well to stay in that co-creation, but not in that state of resistance, because it's so easy to just fight what is and fight and focus on what we want to change and what we don't want. But if we stay in, okay, this is what is in front of me, this is what is being presented for me at the moment, how can I surrender to this, and how can I realize where my choices are in this moment, and what am I going to learn from this, and lean back in that trust in your higher self, trust in your inner team, and know that you are moving forward. Because there's what they have brought to my awareness is that there's a lot of people finding themselves in that state now, and that they are feeling much more suffering because they are staying in a resistance to it rather than surrendering to it and letting that, like realizing that this is a part of the transformation. If we were on top of everything all the time and we had full control over everything, we wouldn't actually transform. There is a chaos in that process of transformation. But going through that in an empowered state and coming back to your power all the time, asking yourself, where do I have the choice? Like, what are my choices in this situation? I surrender in my power because I know that I am safe to surrender into this. I know I will learn from surrendering into this. I know there's something waiting for me. Like, hold that knowing, and with that surrender and with that open to allow what will be coming in, rather than fighting in that resistance. And it's the same when you're receiving this message, for example, or any other type of message. Not to give your power away, not trying to make your life fit into whatever I am saying and whatever I have been receiving on messages, for example, or any other person you might listen to. But take in what resonates and leave the rest, and use it to empower yourself, use it to gain more perspective and more clarity on what is going on in your life specifically. If there's something that does not fit in your life and that you're not experiencing, then you don't have to, use a lot of energy on it, or go too much into it, and you just leave that, and you take what is relevant for you, and stay in that empowerment, no matter what it's about. That being said, what I feel energetically now, it's very different than how I've been feeling anything before, because I've been feeling periods of vacuum, and I've been feeling periods of pressure. I've been feeling periods of like constant forward movement and things happening all the time. Now it's sort of like a mixture. It feels like there's like constant things coming up. There are constant epiphanies. There are constant deeper layers to things coming up, to be seen, to be looked at, to be integrated. There are constantly new things we're being asked to do. There are constant changes. But this is all, it feels, if I'm going to like make a picture of it, it feels like all of this is happening inside a bubble of vacuum. So it feels like there's very much a vacuum around the whole collective, and then on an individual level there is a lot happening within that vacuum. So it's sort of like both things going on at the same time. I also mentioned in the Facebook Live I did a couple of days ago, I think. I also uploaded it on YouTube with a guided channel meditation with the inner earth, and I mentioned there that there's a lot of energy coming up from the inner earth now, and really stay grounded into that is important. So there's a lot of energy coming in that way, and there's a lot of energy coming in that way, and then we have the whole collective around, and there's all of this creates a lot of changes, and there's also this almost like a pressure cooker around the whole collective. So it's what it brought my attention to is that there are a lot of people out there feeling a bit of like a fight or flight or a freeze state, because they're feeling this vacuum and this pressure, and they feel like I need to sort it out. I need to like come through this now. I need to sort whatever is going on in my life out. I need to get going. I need to get out of this, or whatever it might be, and getting a bit stressed about it, because we're feeling this vacuum, and it's like, is something going to happen? It's sort of the feeling. But what I've been saying is that what is really, really the most helpful thing, besides staying empowered, is to try to relax into what is going on in your life in this moment. So try today, because there's a lot of senses opening up. There's a lot happening in the physical body, and more people are receiving or being able to perceive more of what is going on in the collective, in the earth, in the cosmos. And as all of these impressions are coming in, and there's so much changes and so much chaos, and there's this vacuum sort of around it all, because it's building up for massive change, then if we take all the attention back from all the other things and just stay present with whatever comes up for you in any moment, and just attend to what's in front of you at any moment, and relax into that, surrender into that being enough, because that's where the change happens. It is what you do with what is in front of you in your life at any moment, and taking action from that. Not feeling too much into, if you're feeling and picking up on this sort of a vacuum energy, because that can tend to stress us up a bit. Because it feels like, oh, I need to fix this or get through this before this vacuum sort of bursts. Or like, don't stress over that, but really trust that what is coming up for you in any moment. Walk the steps day by day or hour by hour, or just take whatever comes up. And there will be surprises for everyone, they're saying. There will be sudden changes, like 90 degrees turn, and something turns out very differently than what you expected. Or you might suddenly have an epiphany and want to do something very differently than you did. There can be changes in relationships, changes in job, changes in locations. I was talking about relocations, starting to be prepared for an energetic level in December at some point, and this is starting to happen now. So these things can happen really fast, and the best way to meet anything coming up, whether it's something we perceive as positive or if it's something we perceive as negative, it is to stay present. It is to stay with what is coming up and not get distracted by everything going on around. And this sort of vacuum energy can be a distraction if we're not aware of what it is. So that's why I was guided to share about this, because it's sort of an energy that maybe can be difficult to grasp what is, and it can give a bit of this like uncertain, stressful, I need to get this done or fixed, or stress us up a bit. So really trust whatever is coming up for you, and go with that. Deal with the triggers, go with the inspiration, like whatever is happening in any moment, just follow that. I've been receiving a lot of messages on how can I explain this? So we are multidimensional beings, and we have several aspects coexisting at this same time. These aspects, as we are rising in frequency, we are becoming more and more aware of these aspects, and we are integrating more on the wisdom and the knowledge from these other aspects, and we can start. Some people will have sudden epiphanies, or sudden like things they don't typically would know anything about, and suddenly some knowledge being accessible, which have to do with these other aspects. And there are a lot of changes in the physical body, in the DNA and the cells, and also I made a video about a week ago, I think, about some of these channelings I've been getting on this, and the sort of expanded meridian system they have been starting to show me. So as all of this is happening and we're experiencing physical changes, talking with ourselves, talking to our DNA can be very helpful. In a healing process, in any type of change, in any transformation we find ourselves in, really start connecting in with your body, connect in with the cells, connect in with the DNA, and talk to it, engage with it, just start to practice. It's very, very beneficial, and much more accessible now than it has been before. They also said that they said that this can be challenging for some people if they have a very antagonistic relationship with their own body, to start talking to and engaging with the body in that way. If this is the case for you, what I said can be very helpful is to connect through the heart. So our heart space is a multidimensional portal. And if you just imagine that you center yourself in your heart and you breathe into your heart, and you can put your hands on your heart and just stay in the body and breathe and connect into the heart. And then connecting with that energy flowing in and out of your heart. And from that space, you can talk to your cells and your DNA. Because that they said that if the process is done that way, it can be easier to get out of that whole mindset of the antagonistic relationship with the body and really center into the heart and give that love out to the body, and that can really transform the relationship with the body as well. So I wanted to mention that. We are really being asked to let go, to change, and to make choices now. And that's also one of the main reasons why it's so important to just stay in your own lane and don't pay too much attention to everything going on around you. Because if you want to make those changes, and you will be presented with some choice points, you need to make the choices. If you're not making a choice, that is also making a choice. There's no more victim state. Whenever we are falling into a victim state, it will be very visible very rapidly. And a sort of, I'm not making a decision, so that indecisiveness, or like there's no room for it anymore. So we are, and I've been shown, especially for 2 weeks now, it will be a lot of choice points for individuals in the collective, however that might look for you. I've also been shown that how to explain this, that there are, it's almost like 2 groups of people. Now this is very, very much in a general sense. One group needs to really, really ground in, because they're very much in their upper chakras, very much out there and connecting in and doing these things, and they need to ground down in order to really bring up the energies from the inner earth, and to bring everything down in the body, because those lower 3 chakras are very important for the physical body. Then there is this other group that is very sort of stuck in those lower 3 chakras and need to move the energy up, needs to come into the heart. And whether you find yourself in the one group or the other, if any one of those resonates with you, use the breath. Go out grounding if that is what you need, or use the breath and imagine everything opening up. The heart, the expression of what's in the heart, in the throat, and then just envision this light going up through, just open the whole energy system. That can be a very good practice to do every single day. We really move the energy through the whole energy system, just having that as a conscious practice, and be aware if you are in one of those groups that needs to concentrate more on the lower chakras or on the upper chakras. That can be helpful now. Then they showed me what looked like almost like a root system, or a, if you're like making a family tree, like you're in the center, and then there's like your parents and 2 dots, and then there's like your grandparents and 2 out of them, and then your great grandparents, and you have this like big pattern going out. they showed me that what's coming up for us now is very much like that. So there's a lot of people experiencing old triggers or old issues coming up, emotions that are like, yeah, but I cleared this, I've already dealt with this, and then it's coming up again. And when this happens, just take it, because it's a deeper layer. Because if you see, like from this pattern, if you see like the core is where you would be on this like family tree, and then if we start like way out up here, and then you have been tracking that back to where it came from, and then you have dealt with those things, and then those are tracking back, and we find ourselves like on a deeper and deeper level all the time, and we are on a lot of those, of the frequencies of victim, of fear, shame, guilt, those types of frequencies, things rooted in those, even though there are things we have worked on before, can very much be triggered now to get that sort of a final clearing. And it does not mean that you haven't done the job. It just means keep doing the work. It means you have reached a deeper level, and so whenever you're sort of coming to that next layer, all of what's on the top is cleared, and then it's like one layer deeper and one layer deeper, and we are really getting to the core of those emotions now. So don't get discouraged when you experience this. Look at it as a gift to really clear it, to really get so clear on it and integrate it and heal it, so that we can more and more make those conscious choices of getting out of all those programs that we have been in, on getting out of all those patterns and dysfunctional relationships or whatever it is that we have been playing in, and really stop playing in it and make those conscious choices every single day in order to become who we are becoming, and integrating all of what we are experiencing as new, everything that is coming up, everything new, abilities, new experiences, the epiphanies, downloads we might receive, all of these things, just soak it in, and also do the clearing. Like whatever is front of you, just focus and concentrate on that. And then I will be making probably an own video and a post probably on the topic of children, because I have been contacted by some children, and I've also been receiving quite some information about children that are what would be the right way to say it, that are very multidimensional and are very aware of what they're doing, for example, at night, and their experiences, and when they're dropping in and out of body, and in family dynamics where the parents are not understanding or not aware of what is happening. And some of these children are toddlers and not having the ability to really explain what's going on either. So I will be making a video or a post on the awareness around that topic, because that's also very, very important now. So I just put it out there. If you know people talking about these things with children, or parents who may be worried about their children in any way because they have a very different perspective on things, or they are explaining about different experiences or whatever it might be, that it's something a lot of children are experiencing now, and just having the awareness and bringing this awareness to the people around these children, if they are in families with people who are new to these things or not aware of the multidimensionality of things in general. So I think that was it for today. It got way longer than I thought. I hope it's helpful for you. I will be back with more. There's so much information coming in now. Please share this if it was helpful for you and you know someone who might get some help from it. I love reading your comments. Feel free to share if you want about anything you're experiencing, how you're feeling the energies. And I look forward to seeing the next video. Thank you for being here. Bye bye.